Alvin Einstein. This is my life.
We've got to hand it to you, Mr. Feeny. You sure know how to make an impression. We'll never forget all the life lessons you threw our way and how you always saw something special in little Cory Matthews. You watched him grow up, get married, and have children of his own, and you were always there to offer advice and support. They don't make them like you anymore, Mr. Feeny. Boy Meets World will go down in history as one of the best TV series of the 90s. In fact, some might even say that it was close to perfect. Well, except for all of those plot holes, of course. We've got 10 of the biggest mistakes in Boy Meets World lined up for you. Keep watching to find out the real reason Eric and Jack graduated from university.
214653.
A very mysterious aging process. Before Joshua came along, there were only 2 Matthews brothers. But when Cory and Eric went off to college, their parents, Amy and Alan, chose to have another child. And that's where things get a little wonky. Less than 1 year passes between the end of the series and Joshua's birth. So you can just imagine how shocked viewers were when Joshua showed up looking and talking like a full-on toddler. That's one very mature-looking baby. The sibling debacle. On more than one occasion, the showrunners of Boy Meets World introduced siblings to the viewers, only to erase them off of the face of the earth. Shawn had a sister named Stacy who was only ever mentioned in one single episode.
Hey, Stacy, it's me. Listen, Cory wants to know if that stuff you sent over should be burned.
Then there was Shawn's half-brother Eddie, who never made it to his dad's funeral. And let's not forget about Topanga's sister Nebula, who picked Topanga up from Cory's house only to vanish into thin air. If only getting rid of pesky siblings were that easy. I would walk 300 miles. One of the most heartbreaking episodes of Boy Meets World was the one when Topanga and Cory broke up because his family was moving to Pittsburgh. Seeing these two say goodbye was excruciating, but by the end of the episode, we'd be crying for different reasons. Cory opens his front door to find a soaking wet Topanga on his doorstep. She tells Cory that she ran away to be with him. But wait, aren't Pittsburgh and Philadelphia like 300 miles apart? We seriously hope Topanga got on a bus instead of running back to Cory on her own 2 feet. What happened to Mr. Turner? Mr. Turner was by far one of the best characters in Boy Meets World. He was Cory, Shawn, and Topanga's English teacher, but he was so much more than that. Mr. Turner acted as Shawn's legal guardian, confidant, and friend.
Look, Shawn, this hasn't been the easiest year for me either. Going from a single guy to raising a 15-year-old was not on my to-do list.
In fact, it sometimes appeared as though Mr. Turner loved Shawn more than his own father did. Mr. Turner appeared in seasons 1 and 2 only to completely disappear after suffering a motorcycle accident. Same character, new actor. Younger viewers may not have noticed, but Cory's little sister Morgan disappeared from the show only to reappear later on the series. Lily Nixay, the child actor who first portrayed Morgan, wound up quitting the show, and eventually the role was given to Lindsay Ridgway. If that wasn't weird enough, it wasn't uncommon for actors to play more than one role, like when Willie Garson portrayed Leonard Spinelli, Mervyn, and Merrill Lynch all at the same time. Romeo and Juliet. A lot of English teachers make it a point to read Romeo and Juliet with their students, so we weren't at all surprised when Mr. Feeny taught Cory's class about Romeo and Juliet in the pilot episode of the series.
Mr. Feeny, who cares about some guy who killed himself over some dumb girl?
But we were surprised when later on in the series, Cory came face to face with the Shakespearean play and acted like it was his first time hearing about it. Topanga goes to Disneyland. In the episode titled The Happiest Show on Earth, Topanga wins a trip and goes to Disney World, but not before getting into a huge fight with Cory. Determined to win her back, Cory and Shawn take a plane to surprise her at Disney World. But in the episode Witches of Pembroke, Cory and Topanga plan a trip and she reveals that she's never been on a plane before, which isn't exactly true. Cory and Shawn's friendship timeline. Throughout the series, we're told that Shawn and Cory have been friends since they were about 6 years old. But at some point, Mr. Feeny says that Shawn used to live in Oklahoma. He also states that Shawn moved around a lot and attended 5 different schools before moving to Philly. So technically, Shawn and Cory couldn't have met until they were about 12 years old. Cory and Topanga's love story. Cory explains the exact moment that he fell in love with Topanga on 3 separate occasions, but all of them are different scenarios. At first, he says he fell in love with her when she pushed him onto his locker. Then he recalls a moment when they were catching fireflies as kids.
And you had like 20 in your jar, and I had one with a broken bulb.
And then he goes on to say that he fell for her when they were toddlers playing at the park. So, which one is it, Cory? University graduates. We loved how Eric and Jack graduated from Pembroke University together, but couldn't help but notice that they'd only completed 3 years of school. Since they weren't the sharpest tools in the shed, fans found this a little hard to believe. So some viewers have theorized that they dropped out and lied about it. Who was your favorite character from Boy Meets World? Sound off in the comments. And thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to The Things. We'll catch you next time.